Welcome back to another episode.
This is The Real Talk with Adore and Daisy. I hope you all loved the episode from last week, but we back at it again with a new one. And before we get started, I would like to say this is a sensitive topic for our watchers and our listeners. Just wanted to throw that out there. But we're going to go ahead and jump right into our guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Taylor.
Hi, my name is Taylor.
And tell them, who you are, a little background about yourself.
What y'all like? What you mean background? Like,
What do you like to do?
What do you like to do? What do you do now?
I don't really do much now. I really just focus on healing and background as much. I'm 19 years old. Like, I just graduated school a year ago. So right now I'm just in the process of trying to figure out my life.
Okay.
So,
And you said I'm sorry.
Okay.
You said you're in the process of healing.
Yeah.
You want to tell the people what you are healing from?
I'm healing because a few months back, I lost my son due to child abuse from a babysitter. So I'm just in the works of getting over that, healing from that, and things how I can move forward from stuff like that.
So before we get into that, we usually like to ask each other, how's your mental health? But I'll go first, then she'll go.
Okay.
And then you can go. So my mental health is good. I'm in a good space. I'm just happy to be back in the studio and recording. This is my happy space.
It's my happy space as well. Like, I've been so happy since we started back recording. Like, we hadn't dropped in over a month.
Yeah, y'all took a minute off.
We took a little minute, and people noticed. Like,
Yeah.
I did. I'm
We
like,
was shopping around for a new studio.
yeah. So, now that we are back recording, like, I'm so excited. Like, we got a lot of things coming up, a lot of things to look forward to. And yeah, it's my mental health is good. I'm getting myself together as well. Like, I'm a mother of two, so my life is very hectic. I juggle my business, my job, my other business, somebody else's business. Like, I do a lot, but I'm in a good mental space. Like, again, I'm happy we with a new network, and we back recording.
And thanks for being patient. You did reach out a few times.
Yeah.
It wasn't that we was like ignoring you. We really just wasn't recording.
I knew y'all wasn't ignoring me, but I was reaching out to y'all because I feel like I would be comfortable with y'all because y'all females and I can relate to y'all more. And then you say you a mama, so I can relate to you more. And this is my first time actually really talking, like telling my story. And I
can't wait to hear it.
And I ain't want to be around people, that make me feel like
too much.
Yeah. But as of right now, my mental health, I really don't know how to explain it because some days I'm up, I'm going, but it's like a maniac state. But then some days I'm down, I'm low, and I can't get up. So really, I don't know how to explain how my mental is right now. But as of right now, as sitting right here, I feel comfortable. I feel y'all good vibes, y'all good energy, and I feel good.
I'm glad to hear that. So, like, again, we did say this is a sensitive topic. I want to know, like, how was your mind when they told you that, you lost your son?
No, let's rewind. How was your mind when you got that call that he was going to the hospital?
When I got that call, it was like 1 a.m. I was at work. And I got the call, and it wasn't really the phone call. It was the message that was sent to my phone. Because I got the phone call. She was like, Taylor, because I'm working. I was waitressing and bartending, so I wasn't on my phone. So she called me like, Taylor, you ain't see that picture I seen you? Something is wrong. I'm like, what you mean? So I look at the picture. It's my baby face all swollen, beating up and stuff. I'm like, no, what you mean? What you mean? What happened? He talking about, I don't know. He was asleep. He might be having an allergic reaction. And as soon as I got the phone call, I hung up on her. Like, it was like 1, 2, 3. And then a random man that was sitting at the bar at my job. I'm like, please, I ain't have a car then. I ain't had nothing back then. So I'm like, please, can you take me up the street to my house? Please take me up the street. I live like 10 minutes away. Can you please take me home? So he rushed and hurried me home, and I ran up in my apartment building, and then I see my baby right there.
So she hadn't even called the police?
No, she had not called the police. She haven't called. She ain't called me or nothing until like hours prior after like what happened. She did not call nobody like until that phone call. She called me.
So I know you probably can't talk much about the situation, but was that your friend?
Yeah, that was like a close friend. Like, I would call her like a sister, honestly, because normally I'm an open person. I'm a real genuine person. And if I see somebody that's in need or help, just like how I get closer to them people. Like, I gravitate to them people. So we only knew each other like in a 5-6 month period of time. But as we talked every day. She lived right upstairs. She came to my house every day. She came to me about her problems. I went to her about my problems. So it came like a sister bond, more than like a friendship. It was like we was like sisters for real. I consider her a sister. After, even with that short amount of time, I love that girl. Like, she was a sister to me.
So when you I don't even know what's next. Like, that's so much. Like,
Yes.
it's just so much to grasp. I'm just like, damn.
I could literally. Do y'all want me like literally start from when I got there and like?
That was gonna be my next question.
Yeah. So when I got there, she called me as soon as I was pulling up, and she was like, "Taylor, hurry!" But she didn't know I was pulling up, so I ran into the apartment building. She met me at the door, and then we ran upstairs. And the first thing I seen was my son on the kitchen floor, like having seizures, like back to back, and one eye was shut, one eye was just like popped out a little bit. So I started panicking, I started freaking out, and I ran back to like towards the front door because I couldn't see my son like that. He was on the ground, and her boyfriend at the time was like flipping my son on the side, so like because he was having seizures. Right. So I couldn't see that, so I hurried up and turned around, and I'm just at the door panicking like, oh my god, something wrong with my son. And she's covering me, like holding me, like, Taylor, it's okay, you gotta be strong, he's okay. Like she was holding me like how you know when something going through. She was holding me like, it's gonna be okay, the ambulance on the way, it's an allergic reaction, he'd be fine. And then her boyfriend was talking to me as well, like, I went through this as a kid, as a baby, he'll be fine, we seen this, he's okay. So then after that, the ambulance put up, and then they didn't even, when people in that type of state, you don't supposed to move them. And I knew something was suspicious right then and there, but at the time my mom couldn't register, but her boyfriend grabbed my son and picked him up and ran him outside. I'm like, no, don't move him. Like, let the ambulance come in. If something happen, like, you might make him worse by moving him. But we ran outside the ambulance, and then we talking to the paramedics, and they was like, and they was telling them, like, so what happened? They was like, oh, he had an allergic reaction. And then the boyfriend was like, I wasn't here. I was at work. I just seen him like this. So then on the way to the hospital, they still ain't tell me nothing about my son's condition. Even though the paramedics knew at the time, like, this wasn't no allergic reaction. I still did not know that myself. Like, I'm still holding my son's hand. He's still seizing, like, every 2 to 3 minutes, he's still seizing. So we get to the hospital, and then they take him to the emergency part, and then they came back to me. A nurse came to me, like, we got to put a tube down his throat. He not breathing. I'm like, okay, let me just calm down, because when people have allergic reactions, they throat close. Like, so, of course, maybe he can't breathe. So I'm like, okay, it's cool. So they put me into a room aside. Then they had a chaplain came in. And I knew when they had that chaplain come in, I'm like, this got to be a little bit more serious, because they not about to have a chaplain come talk to me about my son just having an allergic reaction. Mm-hmm. So the chaplain came in. She tried to get me to calm down. I calmed down. And as soon as they got me to calm down, the surgeon walked in. I'm like, my son gotta have surgery? Like, what's the problem? He was like, Taylor, if you don't sign these consent forms for me to have surgery for your son right now, he would die or be paralyzed. And I lost it there. I swear to God, I lost it. I'm on the ground, kicking the ground.
Ooh, baby. Yeah. Okay, so we basically got the story. You said you didn't have no mom and no dad.
Yeah. I was adopted when I was 8 months. Before I was adopted, I was in foster care. But the adopted mom I had, like, she had a roof over my head, yeah, of course, but I didn't have a real parent. I didn't have no real guidance or anything. Like, anything I had on my own, I got on my own. I got my first job at 12 working on San Mount Corner, walking up to an ice cream shop at 12 years old, making $4 an hour just because my mama license and water was off. And that summer, I remember that summer, like, that's when I realized, like, my mama is not as good as other parents, because that's when you, around 12, 13, that's when you allowed to go over your friend's house, you allowed to make friends. So I'm going over my friend's house, I'm seeing they got a matching living room set, they got a TV, it's not 5 people to a bedroom, because my mom adopted 5 kids. And if a person adopt 5 kids, you know why they adopted 5 kids. To get that money, like, right, come on. Like. Yeah, so she adopted 5 kids, and I always shared a room with my sisters and stuff. So I went over to other people's house. I seen they had beds, real TVs, real consoles. So I knew then that summer, like, I ain't have, like, a regular childhood. And then that summer, my mama sat me down with all her adopted kids, like, I don't got the money to pay the hot water bill, so y'all gonna have to figure this out. So I started working for $4 an hour just to help my mama put the thing up, because I had just started my cycle that summer. I'm like, I ain't about to not be able to take no shower because because we don't got no hot water. So I'm like, I'm about to hustle. I'm about to go work here for $4 an hour, and then I saved up the money the whole summer, gave it to my mom, got the hot water back on. So it's like, I knew right then. Yes, I knew.
That is amazing, because, baby, I was not thinking about no work at 12. Baby, I want to go
12,
skating.
13, 12. I couldn't even skate. My mama wouldn't even take me. Like, I lived on 7 Mile and Mile. My mama used to think 8 Mile in Greenfield was an hour away. My mama would not drive. She would not.
She was one of them.
Yeah, she was one of them.
I'm not even crossing Woodward, baby. That's
my mama. Like, I'm not getting on the freeway. We right here, and that's it. And I went to school 5 minutes up the road. Like,
do y'all still have a relationship now?
No, I have not talked to her.
Did she reach out to you?
No. The last time I spoke to her, It's when I first moved in my apartment that I was just moving in. And I called her like, Ma, she had a whole bunch of old pots and pans because her mama and them gave it to her. So I called her like, Ma, I don't get no pots and pans. Can I have them? She told me no. Hung up the phone. That's the last time I heard from her. I have not talked to her since. Yes, like I can't borrow a pot. I can't borrow a pen.
Like, and you know, oh damn.
Yes.
So do you know who your biological parents are?
No.
Is that something that you would want to like find out?
When I was younger, yeah, of course, because I'm like, I want to know where I'm come from. Like, I want to know what makes me me. But as of now, as I got older, it's like, no, not too much. Because what would I really gain from that? I don't understand what would be my benefits from learning who my real parents is. I don't understand what that would help right now.
So being on a healing journey is like getting over childhood trauma to me.
Yeah.
And you might not feel like you traumatized from a child, but like once you like really start to heal for real and it get just I know stuff start coming out the blue. Yeah. Then that might be a question or some like a void that you might want to feel. Yeah. You might not gain a relationship with them, but just to know like okay, just for like health reasons, like the health background. Yeah, because like
always going to the doctor, they used to be like, "What's your background? This and this and that," and I never was able to answer those type of questions because I never knew myself. So that's when I was younger. Yeah, I wanted to know, but as I'm older now and I am on my healing journey, I think part of my healing journey is not wanting to know who that person was and stuff like that because I used to always look for answers, always look for stuff in certain ways and in the wrong ways just because I don't know who this person is. So now I'm just at the point in my life like it's okay. You don't have to know who these people is. They did not make you who you is because they never been around this whole time. So who you is who you made you to be, not them, not where you come from, none of that. You is you. Like that's just basically been my mindset now.
So when you were 16, you got pregnant at 16. So
yeah, I was 16.
So when you got pregnant at 16, who helped you?
When I got pregnant at 16, I had an adopted sister. She was helping me a little bit, but then once I popped that baby out, and he got
baby life getting real when you had them kids.
Once I popped that baby out, I was 16. I was working at McDonald's at first before the pandemic. That's when I got pregnant, right? The pandemic, and then I popped that baby out. And then
you say, where did the help go?
Yes, where like my sister, like she would help and stuff like that. But my son, like he was attached to me, like real, like he had bad separation anxiety. And I breastfed him till he was like 1.
Oh, girl, yeah, that's enough.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
I breastfed him till he was like 1, so he could not be away from my hip. So nobody never wanted to watch my son because he was crying. Yes, and I was like, so once they seen how he was, my sister was like, nope. My sister never kept my son once unless I was there. And she wouldn't even hold him. She would hold him for a couple minutes and you give him right back. So I ain't never really had too much of a help. Everything my son really had, I bought on my own. Like I never had a wig. I never had none of that. So formula, diapers, all that, I bought on my own. Nobody never really helped me with stuff like that.
Damn, girl, you a strong young lady.
Because once he turned 1, I took him off of me. He still needed a formula a little bit. So I'm still buying $80 cans and stuff like that. I never had a week or nothing like that.
Baby, you don't got to
that joke is not cheap.
That led me to the next question as why you felt like you can trust her. Like you probably needed somebody and it was probably convenient.
I feel like I could trust her because we kind of got like similar backgrounds. Like her mom died when she was young, so she didn't have a mom or a dad for real either. And the only people she really had was like her boyfriend. And so you know how that be when you living with a man, they taking care of you. It's like their house and you like a kid in their house to them. So we connected like that because we both had kids. Her daughter like a couple months younger than my son. So we connected one because we had kids and then we had like similar backgrounds. So we felt comfortable like talking to each other about stuff like that, like our moms and stuff like that. And that's how I felt comfortable with her because this is how I met this girl. I met her because she got into it with her boyfriend, and then she was arguing with her boyfriend on the stairs. And I remember she lived upstairs, I lived downstairs. I remember opening my door, and it was raining outside. I seen her with her daughter, and they was standing outside. Her daughter ain't had no coat on, no pants on, no nothing. I'm like, my son got some extra clothes in here. You want some clothes? I hear y'all, because they right above, so you hear them arguing. I'm like, I got some extra clothes in here that my son can't fit. She could put on. Like, you don't got to stand out here. You could come in my house. And then she was like, no, it's okay. So then after that argument that they had, she went upstairs, and she left a note on my door like, hi, my name is Kumora. Thank you for trying to help me. I see you a real genuine person and we could be friends. Here's my number. Here's my Instagram. So then after that, we started talking more. And then, like, if her and her boyfriend get into it, I always told her, like, you could come down here. I barely knew this girl. I used to be like, you could come stay with me. Like, if it's that serious, you and your daughter need to get away, come stay with me. Come down here. Like, you don't have to stay up there. I can help you. You don't need him. And then when I started waitressing, that's how that all played into play. Like, she didn't have a job. She was using, like, had his money and stuff, like, living off of him. So I'm like, this is a way you can make your own money. You help me out watching my son, I'll help you out. So I was giving her, like, a $200 a week, $400 a week, whatever. How much I made, I literally was giving her half of it. If I made $100 that night, I came home with 50 and I gave her 50. And then it wasn't even just because she was watching my son, like, to get him stuff. Like, I was still sending my son up there with food, diapers, juice. He didn't need nothing. Just literally somebody to watch over him them few hours I was at work.
Like that.
Yeah.
I know. I already know how it go. Like, and it's just so crazy that that's the end of that's how that story ended up unfolding, because like I was only here to help you. Yeah, that's how I am, and I feel like that's the main thing I need help on, because the main problem I have in life right now is I always put others before me, and it's just a natural thing. Like, other people and their well-being always been more important than mine, and I'm like, now I'm at the point like I gotta focus on me and my well-being. Like, I can't be worried about, because that right there told me right then and there, like, no, that's not okay.
So how we found out about you, obviously social media. When this happened, hit the news, it hit social media. I see that you had a lot of people that was trying to support you on social media. Like, how did that make you feel, because you weren't a social media person?
Honestly, it didn't make me feel no type of way. Like, I see it, like, still to this day, I don't recognize how big that it blew up on social media. I still go out, every time I go outside, people seeing me, coming up to me, trying to give me stuff, and I still be like, I be thrown off a little bit, because I don't be thinking like it was that big of a situation, when in reality it was. Like, it was on the Shade Room, it was on the People's Magazine, but it's like it wasn't that big of a deal to me. Like, it might be this big, like this big of an event to y'all and stuff, but to me, I lost my son, so it's like social media, that don't matter. That GoFundMe money, that don't matter. Like, my son is gone. That's what mattered to me. Like, so it's like, yes, y'all can help me, yes, y'all can give me this, but it's like, I still can't. This void is never gonna be fixed. Yeah, no matter what people do, and that's why I'm saying, like, no, that GoFundMe money everybody was talking about, like, no matter what y'all give me with that, I'm still not okay. I'm still not gonna be fine, just because it is like I lost my son, and my son is the only blood member I ever knew in my life. So it's like I'm not gonna be okay. I'm not okay. And social media, all that, yeah, I appreciate it, but it's not.
Do you want more kids?
Yeah, I want more kids, but I feel like it had to be a minute before I think about having more kids, because I want to be in a position where I don't need nobody. Like, if I don't need a babysitter. I can stay at home with my kid if I need to. Like, I don't need nobody, because next time I have a kid, I want to do it different. Like, I want to give that child the opportunities and stuff that I wasn't able to give Kyrie. Because before Kyrie died, I had an abortion, because I'm like, no, I can't do this. I got to give him this. Like, I don't have to be able to take care of him the way I want to. So why would I ever bring another child in the world when he not even, set for life? Like, no, that's not me. So,
girl,
yeah.
Well, one thing about it, I could tell you a hustling lady. Like,
yes, like.
you a good person. Like, it's gonna happen. Everything gonna work out.
Yeah, I hear that, but.
So you gotta.
Say
when.
Yes, like, I hear that, but I've been like this all my life. Like, so when is it going? Yes, when is it gonna come? And like, if it's not hard, it's harder. If it ain't harder, it's the hardest ever. Like, in my life, so it's not. I never had nothing easy. I never had nothing given to me. So this is just like,
come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember, like, before his passing, I remember just people posting, like, pray for him, pray for him. And when I first saw it, like, I immediately got the chills. I don't have kids yet, but I got nieces and nephews. So, like, they mean the world to me. So, like, and I just love kids. And kids are innocent. They don't ask to be here. So, like, so that's what kind of, like, drew me to you. And not just you, it's just, this happened a lot. Like, not just your
That's what I was saying. Like, that's what I also asked myself. Like, this happened a lot. Like, why am I blowing up over this situation when it's thousands of kids?
You are so young. You have endured a lot of pain. And you are still standing here smiling and strong. Like, able to tell your story. Like, that matters. Like, people can tell and sense that type of stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? It may happen a lot. Not even saying that it happened a lot, but it may happen often. But the way you carry yourself, the way you are handling the situation, I just feel like that's probably why people gravitate towards you.
Yeah. Cause I always wonder, like, that's why lately I've been trying to raise awareness from like the other babies. Like my son was the only one that went through this. Like y'all seen recently in the news that a 2-year-old was stabbed by his own grandmother in his head.
Girl.
Like, yes, that's why I'm like, I'm trying to raise awareness. Like, yes, thank y'all, but it's other people in here. And once I get older and I get more stable, mentally stable, I want to start something so it can spread awareness. Like my son wasn't the only person that went through this. I'm not the only person that went through this. Like this happens a lot, more than you would expect for real. Until you never know how much it happens till it happened to you. Now, since it happened to me, that's all I see. Baby died this week. Baby died this week. Baby died this week. Like, it's crazy.
I don't have no answers for that.
Yes, it's crazy.
Because
It's
when I
sad.
seen the mother that actually killed was it the mother or the grandmother?
It was the grandmother.
Like, I just don't understand. How can you be so evil?
Like, how
to
can
a
you?
child?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, a human being this big, how can you hurt?
This big ain't even been able to live their life. Like, what are you doing?
And the people that used to be around me and my son knew how spoiled my son is. They used to get on me like, pop him, like he bad, do this. I'm like, no, like
can't even hit him.
I would not even pop my son, no matter how bad he irritate me, no matter how bad he get under my skin. I would not pop him. I would not. I'd be like, Kyrie, get away from me. Like I do that before I pop him. Like that was just never in me to ever hit a child that small. Like knowing what I can do to a baby, no, that never sat right with me.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. So, I know that you got a YouTube channel. I went back to you preparing for the baby.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God. That was, I'm like, girl, what?
I was up till 1 a.m. watching it, and it just like really broke me because it's like, okay, the thing is, you're sitting here and you're smiling, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're okay. Like some people like rather deal with stuff in private, however, whatever. But it just, to not know you and to actually watch it and then see what happened a few months ago, then see fast forward to you trying to live in your new normal, like it just really was like everybody, is not strong as you. Like everyone is not able to fall down and get back up on something like this.
I see I understand what you be saying when people say that about how strong I am, but I feel like that's just a persona that I give off. Like, even with social media, like, I'm not a type of person, an outgoing person, but it's like, I come off that way. I don't know, like, I'm a real introvert person. Like, I don't like being around other people. I got real bad anxiety, but it's like my anxiety pushes me to be this type of person, like, to keep going. Like, I can't stop. Like, and I think it's probably just my whole life that just stuff keep happening. Like, I never had a chance to stop. I just gotta take it to the chin and keep moving, because if I don't, what's gonna happen? I ain't gonna survive. I ain't gonna eat. So I gotta keep going. I can't lay down and be sad. I don't got time for that. So it's just like, I gotta keep going. Oh my God, I can't believe you bring up them videos, because them videos still made me emotional. Like, seeing how pregnant I was, like, I loved my baby. Like, we were inseparable.
You was like, oh, I love this outfit. And I took this outfit. And I was just like...
And them was Family Dollar outfits, Dollar Tree outfits, I swear to God.
It's like, and I bought my son this because I'm going to need this in the hospital. Or if he get cold, I got my own blanket. Like... It just was like the love that you had for him. Like,
and I was 16 then.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even born then. So you can only imagine how much I really did love my son when I had him. Like, it was just like, whoa. Like, it was just a wave of love that came over me that I ain't never, ever had before.
That
like,
you needed.
Yeah. Like, I never had that before. And then I had that took away from me.
Yeah. So, what's your belief in, like, God?
I believe in God 100%. Like, and that was the craziest thing. I feel like losing my son was one of my biggest trials and tribulations I ever had to go through, because before my son died, I ain't gonna lie, me and my son was struggling. Like, and then I met a person at my waitressing job that was helping me get closer to God. Like, even though I had the type of parent I had, I stayed in church because she was a preacher's daughter. Like, my granddad and stuff, before they died, he was the preacher, and then my grandma was the first lady. So I knew I was well taught with God and stuff. So I always believed in God, but as I got older and I got on my own, I got away from it. So I met a person at my job, and he was helping me get closer to God. And I was praying every day. I was building, like, foundation in my life, because I ain't have it. I was 18 years old on my own in an apartment, paying $1,200 a month on my own with a baby. So that's like $4,000 a month on just bills. Like, literally $4,000 a month just on bills. So I was praying every day, waking up praying, and my life started going good. Like, May, I tell everybody to this day, May was one of the best months of my life. My son was learning. I just taught my son how to count to 5. He was almost potty trained. I had my house. I just got in my bed because when I moved in there in March and this was May. We ain't had no furniture, nothing that whole time. We was sleeping on the floor. I had bought my son a bed before I bought me a bed. I had the couch coming soon. Like my life was getting together. I'm like finally I'm in a point in my life where stuff is going right because I ain't never had nothing really just constantly go right and keep going and keep going. Now I finally get to that point, and it's like as soon as I get to that point, I lose my son. Like I still don't get that. Like, and that's why I'm like, it got to be a trials and tribulation, and it's not for me to understand. It's for me to keep walking by faith because everything is not supposed to be understand when God put you through stuff. So it's just like I don't understand, but it's not for me to understand. It's for me to keep going and keep walking by faith because if I don't.
Baby, talk to them, okay?
They don't know nothing about walking by
They
faith.
don't know nothing about walking by faith.
You always question why this happened to me, why this didn't happen, or why this keep happening, or you always want to pray when God do this or do this and that, but you got to pray like when you down too. Like you can't just expect the greatest and if you not always never was down. It got to come up somehow. So it's just like I was there. I was at that point in May. I swear to God, I was at that point like my life was getting good, and then my son.
So how's your relationship now?
With God? It's, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared to talk to God. I'm scared to get back on that road of growing closer to God because I feel like if I do, what's bad gonna happen again? Like, that's how I feel. And I always tell myself, like, God, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna talk to you, but I'm not ready. Like, I'm just not ready. Because after my son died, I swear, when my son was in hospital, he was in hospital for 8 days. He was in hospital for 7 days before I even brought it to social media. Like, he was in the hospital the whole time, didn't nobody even know. I never posted it once. So, but that whole time I'm praying every day, like, please, God, please. I don't care if my baby can't walk no more. I don't care if my baby got to be in a wheelchair. I don't care if my baby can't talk no more. Just please, God, please bring my baby back to me, please. And then it's just like, it didn't happen. So it's like, dang. And I'm the type of person, I don't never get my hopes up for nothing just because how my life is. I always suspect the worst. So that was one situation I really got my hopes up. Like, my baby gonna be okay. Like, please, please. And then it didn't happen. So it just broke me down completely. Like, it broke my spirits all the way. Like, dang, I was doing all this praying. I was doing so good. I was praying every morning, praying every night, building a foundation. And then this, I lose my son. Like, you gonna make me cry. And I don't want to.
You know she the emotional one.
Yeah, she gonna make me cry.
But it's a blessing in every lesson. Like,
that's how I was looking at it. Because if I don't look at that way,
don't look at her.
Yeah, she gonna make me cry. Why? You gonna make me cry for real?
I'm not even trying to cry, but it's just hard not to. Like,
yeah.
Because you never know.
You're so young, and when I was 19.
People tell me that all the time.
When I was 19, I was living my best life, you know? Like, didn't have a worry in the world. Like, I couldn't imagine having to be as strong as you. Like, and I got a different level of respect for you because that's a lot.
Yeah.
Just with your life prior to him, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm a really firm believer in God, and I'm not the one to tell people, you know, God, you know, I want you to believe because that's what you want to believe. But, baby, God moved mountains.
Yeah.
He moved buildings. He moved people. Like, I don't know when. We're going to have to keep in touch. I don't know when. But I know something is going to bless you, and you're going to be like, I've been through everything. You know, God might have needed you to use to help people that was in your shoes that's not strong enough to get through it.
For sure.
That's how I look at my life because like I said, I ain't never had nothing easy. And it's just like, as soon as I start getting a little bit better, God put me right back into that box. Like, you got to stay right here. Stay close to me. So it's just like, I get what you said, and I know eventually it will happen, but as of right now, just like, I'm scared to talk to him. I really am. And I don't know. I'm just so scared to talk to him. And then people love to say, like, I inspire people, but it's just like, I'm just being me. Like, I ain't had no choice but to be the way I am this whole time. Like, I'm just
your authentic self, people.
That's what people started to tell me. I'm like, because I'm literally just being me. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
So if you had to tell somebody that's in your shoes right now, in the stage you are in life, what would you tell them?
What you mean?
Like, any advice to give to the people who went through something went through?
Only where you at now. Not like your mental goals or like what you expect to be feeling like a year from now. Just where in your shoes right now.
Like, in my mental state right now, will I tell a person that's like how I am right now?
That went through something similar to you.
The best thing you could do right now, get up. Don't lay down. Don't stay down. find a hobby. Find something to keep you busy. Don't keep going, because if you don't keep going, your mind gonna eat you alive, and you don't want that to happen. Because I didn't let that happen to me multiple times during this healing process. So the best thing you do is to get up. I done been through things where I ain't eat. I couldn't sleep. Like, then I have maniac stages where I'm up, I'm cleaning, I'm all this and that. So the best thing you can do is find you something to do, find you a hobby, have something that you can focus on so you can keep going, because if you don't, you gonna fall down. And that's what I've been trying to do with myself. Like, I've been trying to keep myself busy, like with things like this, like going back to work, stuff like that, because you got to keep busy, because if you don't, your mind it's a dangerous place to get trapped in there. I promise you, because I done got trapped in my mind a few times, and it's not a place to be.
Okay.
Not a place to be.
Having so many.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when you say you had suicidal, that was me. Like, after my son, I tried to kill myself multiple times. Like, people like to say I'm this strong and this and that, but y'all on the outside looking in. Like, I didn't try to run into traffic, leaving my son viewing, because I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't dare see my son at something like that. So it's hard, but keep going. Like, that's my main advice, is keep going and get up, because if you don't keep going, you don't get up, it's gonna eat you alive, because it almost got me multiple times.
What does your tattoo say?
God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. I got this done like 2 years ago.
You needed that.
Yes.
You needed that. You didn't even know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this literally just me. Like, I really stand by that.
You've been through a lot,
Staying
girl.
strong.
I had no clue. I literally had no clue.
That's saying you don't look like what you're going through.
Okay. You don't look like what you've been through.
And that's why I'm so happy I got this opportunity to talk about this and do this, because people seen I got that GoFundMe money, and they seen like the outside looking in. They like, oh, she don't care, she don't give a fuck, she just living her life in this. But you don't know, like, before my son died, when I got that money, that GoFundMe money, I ain't have a pair of shoes. I just bought my first pair of Uggs at 19. I just bought my first pair of Jordans at 19. I barely had underwear. I barely had bras. I ain't have a car. I was behind on bills. I was in debt. Like, y'all see me get that money, and y'all seen like, oh, she got that money, she gonna be okay. But I'm not. Like, that money was just to get me back on my feet, because I wasn't on my, like I said, before my son died, like, we was struggling. My son ain't really it was summertime. My son ain't have a lick of summer clothes. I went to Foreman Mills, my last $30, and bought him shorts and a few T-shirts for the summer, because I ain't never had it like that. He ain't have it like that. So it's just like, yeah.
Where was the son's dad?
He been in jail since I was 3 months pregnant. So I've been doing this on my own. Yeah, his family got help out sometimes, but not really so much. And I've been on his own. And as of right now, we really don't speak. I really don't speak to him at all, because right after my son died, he was supposed to get out like a few weeks before my son died. So it's like, dang, like, his son died on him right before he got out. But we don't really speak, because he kind of blamed me as such as other people. Yeah, like, he kind of blamed me just like other people, or just like, not to really talk about the case, but like her defense team, like, they find a way to try to put me in jail right now, like, to flip it on me. So he was one of them people on that side, like, you left him with her. So that's how he was looking at it, like, on the outside looking in. And he told me, and I'll never forget this sentence, because after he told me this, that was the second time I ever tried to kill myself. He told me, like, if you would have just kept him alive a few more months, a few more weeks, I could have got him, because you just, he was like, you practically killed him. Like, with just talking to me like that, like, if you would have just kept him alive for a few more months, like, just talking to me like that, like, making it seem like it was my fault that my son died. And for you to be his father, like, why would you ever in your life say something like that? Yeah, and I'm going through what I'm going through. Like, how can you ever say that to me? And ever since then, I've not spoke to him since, because, yeah, you his like, you know, his real dad, but you not his father. You ain't raised him. I raised him. I was his mom. I was his dad. I was his auntie. I was his grandma.
Everything.
Yeah, like, I was that.
Yeah, a lot of people always have an opinion on something that.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, but you know, he was in a situation where he didn't know what was going on. He only knew what you told him. So I wouldn't say, of course, I would say he's wrong for what he said, but I mean, he going through it too, like, in a different way. And maybe being locked up, they on lockdown because of COVID, like, it's tough.
Yeah, I don't hate it for him, but it's like, I gotta keep my distance for people that could talk like that, because just like the girl that killed my son, like, I'd be wrong if I said her, like, I hate her, I want to fight her, I want to kill her, because that's not me. Like, that's not me as a person. Like, I don't necessarily forgive her yet for doing that to my son, but I don't have no bad blood towards her, nothing like that, because what am I gaining for doing that? What am I gaining from hating you every single? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm trying to grow and elevate. So what am I doing hating you every single day, wishing I could get to you every day, and knowing there's no way possible that we would ever see each other face to face again? Mm-hmm. So what would be my point of just sitting up every single day hating on you and hating you? That's just not me. So it's like I don't hate him for saying it, but just like I gotta keep my distance from you.
For you to be able to be mentally strong like that,
girl,
it's
like, I'm just listening because it's like, baby, I'm still trying to learn not to hate people because
it's literally not one person in this world that I literally hate, and people think I'm wrong for that. Like, no, you should want to kill her, you should want to do all this and that, but it's just like that's not me. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, for what? Like, I'm not gonna get to her. I ain't never gonna get to her. I ain't never gonna be able to put my hands on her. So it's like I'm not about to waste my time putting my energy into her.
When I could be doing something.
Yeah, when I could be growing and elevating.
Healing, elevating. Okay.
But you tapped in with the world. You came back on YouTube. And you
felt bad about that.
Yes, because at first I wasn't, but I had my friends and stuff were like telling me like, you need to do something, like they watch you and this and that. I'm like, nah, I don't really want to. I don't really want to get into that. But they like, go ahead. They want to know like any little thing. Like if I walk a certain way or I got a certain thing on, what's that? Where you at? If I eat like a French fry, McDonald's French fry, where McDonald's you at? Where McDonald's you was at? McDonald's you at? Like, so it's just like I had to for real because it was automatic. It was just happening regardless. So why not capitalize off of that situation? And I hate when people look at it as I'm using my son death as clout, because it was never that. Because before my son died, I was well known before then. Like, so it's just like I'm never using my son as a clout. And then now that's why when I do my YouTube and I do my TikTok, I make sure I focus on me and my life. I don't really bring my son into that because I don't want people to ever think like I would ever do something like that ever. Because like people really think that.
Yeah,
the trollers be trolling hard on my page. I tell you,
you gotta block that out.
Yeah,
you cannot
you need to.
The comments.
They be trolling hard. Like they be like, you ain't never care about that baby. As soon as I go live, every time I go live, it's like 500-600 views. You ain't never care about that baby. She living her best life. She moved on. She happy that baby died so she could go back to her teenage life. Like, what? I'd do anything to have my son back right now. Like, how can you dare sit here and tell me that? That's why I learned how to ignore. Because who is you to even say something like that to me? Really? For me to care and really take it in. Yeah, it's like, why would you say that?
You tapped in with your new hair color. Yeah. You tapped in with your moving.
Yeah. I just moved far, like, out of the city. I wanted to be out the way. Have my space. Because here, it's too much. Like, I can't go to no regular stores. I can't go to the mall. I can't, because people see me and they have something to say. Or they come to me, Taylor, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I appreciate it. But every time I'm out, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to see that. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was a little wave of woo when I came here, because I rode past the hospital my son died. I'm like, yeah, I know where I'm at. It's a lot. It weighed heavy on my heart. As soon as I seen it, I'm like, oh, okay. I know where I'm at.
I had no idea.
Yeah, we didn't even know.
Yeah, that hospital right there, my son died at. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you didn't want to be nowhere around.
Yeah, and did you know that they tried to lock me in the hospital after my son died?
What you mean?
Why cause I was trying to suicidal and try to kill myself. But of course, like my son just died. Like they see me in there. Like as soon as they told me my son died, I was calm. You know how you just calm when something first happened. And then like 5 minutes later, when they was like, all right, we about to go get his memorial things, like cut his hair, get his little footprint, I just started wigging out like, no. Like I started punching the wall, kicking the wall. Like I couldn't believe.
What did y'all want me to do?
Yeah, I could not believe my son was gone. So after that, they had a psych come up and try to keep me there for 72 hours or something like that. How would y'all even? Why would y'all even try?
Do that? And I'm the mother. Like, who are
right? Why would y'all ever in y'all life try to lock me in the hospital? My son literally just died, and like,
y'all think that's gonna help me?
Yes, that's what they.
That's gonna help me.
And then it was just a mess from there on.
So, what's a day in the life like for your new norm? Just like for mostly on your good days.
Oh my! I'm honestly
on the good days you have, brother.
Honestly, I'm really still trying to figure out, because it's like when my son first died, I had so much support, but it's like everybody got back to their new normal life. But I'm trying to figure out what's my new normal, because I could tell you my day-to-day schedule like that when it come to Kyrie. Woke up, make me and Kyrie breakfast, change his diaper, give him a bath. But it's just like now I'm really just trying to figure out what's my new normal because I don't know. So now I'm about to start back working. I start back working tomorrow. So now, before then, on a good day, I get up. I go hang out with my friends. You know, like spend some time with my
be
friends.
Around some love.
Yeah, be around something like that. But now, on certain days, now I make it a priority to go see my son at the cemetery. At least once a week, at least twice a week, I go sit up there with my son. And those be good days for me. Even though I be sad, of course I cry, but it's like those are good days because I feel close to my son. And knowing that I could still go see him or go sit with him and feel him in spirit, those is the good days to me.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm just so happy that you in a good space. I'm glad that you were able to talk about it. Like, you know, because like you said, it happened often. And, you know, people need to be able to hear and talk to somebody that they can actually relate to. So I'm glad that you came on Real Talk and talked to us. Like, you're very...
You the chosen one.
Yes.
I'm going to be checking in on you. I check in on everybody.
Yes, because this like an exclusive because I can't even tell y'all how many people been trying to get me to come on and talk to them and stuff. Like, the Shade Room tried to get me do like a virtual meeting just so they could post, and I'm like, nah, I don't know about the Shade Room, like, because they are already posting my son. Then when they was posting my son, they was posting false information, like 11-month-old baby.
The media,
so it's like
they gonna go off what they hear.
Yes,
they get the facts.
And then like I started to almost do podcasts and interviews with people, but then they had shown me their questions before, and I'm like, nah, that's too much for me. Like, no, don't ask me nothing like that. Like one podcast, literally, one interviewer really asked me, can they see the picture of my son when he was all beaten up and abused? Like, why would I ever put that out on social media? Why would I ever let anybody else see that? No.
Wow, that's.
My advice to you on that is if your gut tell you no, just don't do
it. That's what I'm like, no. And then everybody around me like, but people do need to know, like really know what happened because they all came up with their own assumptions and stuff like that. So you do need to let people know if you gonna have this social media platform. And I'm like, I'm about to go to Adoring Daisy. What you mean?
Yes. Well, we do want to thank you for coming. Thank you for being patient with us. I just love you.
I love y'all. Y'all like big sisters to me now.
Because I'm going to be on you.
You making sure you stay in your right mind and stay on your toes. I'm glad.
It's not that easy, but I could do it.
Of course.
I can do it.
You are doing it. And you are doing it. A great job.
Yes. A magnificent job.
That was me trying to say biological.
Girl. But that wraps it up here on today's episode with Real Talk with Adoring Daisy. Y'all know where to find us at on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I be on TikTok. She be on TikTok. Oh, she be on TikTok.
I be on TikTok real bad.
Real bad.
You'll find us at RT Adore the letter N Daisy, and also subscribe to the Uprising Network YouTube, and also follow them on Instagram.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram at Tagrel with 2 M's and _, and my TikTok is the same thing. And then to subscribe to my YouTube channel is Taylor Marie with 2 E's.
All right. Until next time.